It's current affairs.
Oh yes, course. Metamorphosing into 6 years.
And news
that affects you.
What an academic academic yo in their leadership rococo, leadership brababare.
It's all the serious stuff,
but with a light-hearted twist.
I'm Sandra Ezekwesili.
And I'm Aghogho.
Join us 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. every weekday.
Right here.
On Hard Facts. On Hard Facts.
Hello Lagos, good afternoon. I am Sandra Ezekwesili and these are your hard facts. First hard fact of the day: the internet makes you powerful. I've talked about this in the past. We saw how your comments on the internet led to protests against Biodun Fatoyinbo and in many other cases as well. And now, in the aftermath of these xenophobic attacks, we have seen your voice on the internet move the government to action. In the first couple of days, government made statements that it would take action, but no action came. And your voices got louder and louder online. And you were demanding specific things. So number one, summoning of the South African ambassador. Number two, recall of our ambassador to South Africa. Number three, withdrawal of the World Economic Forum Summit. Withdrawal from the World Economic Forum Summit in South Africa. And now government has done all three things. I think this should tell every Nigerian that their voices are powerful and that their voices are heard. Don't let anyone tell you that social media is useless or that you're just ranting online or that you're armchair activists. You are part of the public conversation and you are influencing government. Social media gives you power. It gives your voice power. So do everything you can to protect it. Here on Hard Facts, we also give you power. We do that through information. We're here every day to give you the best insights into today's most important topics because that's what we promise you. We bring them to you, we break them down, we give you the facts so that you can form an informed opinion. And if you miss any of our shows, you can watch it online. Facebook, Nigeria Info FM. Twitter is also Nigeria Info FM. Now, don't forget, of course, that you can now see your radio. So for all of the segments we're going to have today, you can actually see what's happening on Hard Facts. You can see me, you can see my guests who will be on Eyewitness. You will also see my guests who will be on the Big Hard Facts. We have a great show for you today. We're starting with the big three. It's back to school time for Lagosians and Nigerians. We're going to talk about that. We have updates from the xenophobia crisis, including a Nigerian airline offering free airlift for Nigerians in South Africa. And One Chance claims a life in Abuja. Let's talk about those. Plus, it's Thursday, so we're bringing you Eyewitness as usual. But it's a different type of eyewitness today. It's a bit different. I'm going to be interviewing the new Consul General of the USA's Lagos consulate. She's Claire Pierangelo, and she'll be on this show at 4. After that interview, we're going to get back to Eyewitness, and you can call in and tell us what's happening in your area, the news happening in your area. And on the Big Hard Fact, we are going to talk about the first 100 days of Governor Sanwo-Olu's administration. I'm going to have guests in the studio assessing his performance and measuring it up against his campaign manifesto. We'll have hopefully the Commissioner for Information on the show. We'll also have somebody who was a contestant during the 2019 gubernatorial elections. Yeah, somebody who could have won if he had gotten the right amount of votes and become governor of the state. So let's see what he thinks about the person who won's first 100 days. We're also going going to hopefully have the publicity secretary of the APC on this show at 5 p.m. That's when that's happening. You can watch on Facebook as well. So make sure that you watch and you listen. 5 p.m. That's when that conversation will happen. And we'll take your thoughts as well. We'll find out what you think about Governor Sanwo-Olu's first 100 days. He will turn 100 tomorrow. And then we'll wrap up the show with listed Lagosian. Ireti Bakara Yusuf will be interviewing Abiola Shegun Williams. She's one of our most iconic actresses. My God. And we also have Lagosa coming your way at 6:15. That's just before listed Lagosian. So it's going to be really great. Now, as usual throughout the show, we're bringing you all the latest updates from the world of news, sports, and entertainment. But let's start right off with the big three.
This is the Big Three.
The Big Three on Hard Facts.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
You know what to expect on the Big Three. Stories that everyone is talking about right now. Are you ready for your kids' return to school? Should Nigerians come back from South Africa? And how do we protect ourselves from one chance? Let's get into the stories. Our first story isn't on the front pages of any newspaper. It's not at the top of any news website. But if you are a parent in Lagos, this story is the number one story on your radar. It's back to school time. Yes, all over Lagos, parents and guardians are putting together the final preparations for the beginning of their children's school year. So clothes and uniforms, all of that are being bought or they have been bought. School fees have been paid or they're being paid. And all of us are bracing ourselves for the increase in early morning and early afternoon traffic on the roads. I have a friend who moved to Lagos during the holidays and he's complaining about the traffic in the mornings. And I said to him, you don't even know what is going on, do you now? You haven't even seen school run traffic and you're complaining. Hack, 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 hack. You don't know. You don't know what is going on. Hack, 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 hack. That's just what I said to this young man. So our children are about to be back on the road. And I'm curious how you feel about that. It's a very tough time for parents and guardians. And the biggest problem for a lot of parents, of course, is school fees. On Twitter, we call this period school fees season. The reason it's so difficult, I'm talking about school fees now, is that in Nigeria, it's so hard to save money. Putting aside a daily or weekly or monthly savings is almost impossible for a lot of Nigerians who are living almost hand to mouth or salary to salary. I saw a study that showed that on average, over 60% of a Nigerian household's income goes to buying food. We're spending over half of our salaries on mere survival. And in that kind of situation, putting aside money for school fees becomes very hard. So how do you do it? I want to find out how you do it. I want you to call in and tell me how you raise the money for your kids' school fees. How do you do it? Do you save throughout the year? Do you use your last salary to do it? Do you borrow for the school fees? How do you pay school fees? And still on school fees, I talk to a lot of parents and they're saying to me that these days school fees are too high. They're looking at school fees as a percentage of their incomes and they're saying it is generally too high. It's much higher than it was when we were in school, for instance. So tell me, give me a call and tell me that as well. Do you think school fees are too high? If you are comfortable telling me, please tell me how much you pay for your child's school. How much are you paying for your child's school? Are you a school proprietor? Are you a school manager? Why are school fees so high? Perhaps there are expenses and costs that the rest of us are not seeing. I mean, you know what they say, now who wear shoe, now you know where they pinch them. So why are school fees so high? But beyond school fees, I want you to tell me about the issues with back to school in general. What pressures do you face? What pressures are your children under? Do you even know? Did you take the time to have conversations with them? Do they still do that whole, oh, where did you go for your holiday? Where did you go on holiday? Do they still do that thing? It makes some children feel inadequate and inferior. Do they still do that? How do you help your children cope with a new class or a new school? I want you to let me know. I want mothers and fathers to call me and tell me your back to school experience with your children. And then Lagos motorists, I want to hear from you as well. Cab drivers, bus drivers, if you're not driving, of course. Let me know how the resumption of school will change the way you use the road. Now, women can call me on 01277 0993, 01277 0993. Just for women only. If you're male, you can't call that number. You can also call 01277 1993, 01277 2993, and 01277 3993. So again, 0993 for women and the moms who want to call, or the guardians who want to call, or the elder siblings who want to call. And then for the dads, 01277 1993, 2993, and 3993. Of course, if you are a proprietor, I want to hear from you as well, because I want to find out from you why school fees are so high. Let's go to the phone lines now. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, welcome. What's your name?
My name is Michael.
Michael, welcome.
I'm calling from Ezekwesili.
Are you a parent?
No, I'm not a parent too. Well, I have experience.
Okay.
What my parents normally do to my younger ones is that before the resumption of the school, they want to pay. They want to pay before they resume school,
Okay.
so that the load will not be as heavy as something to be.
I see.
Yes, and again, the school fees now is high.
Okay.
It's high, especially private school. Yes. That is what I have to say.
Okay, well, thank you for calling and saying it. We've got more people calling. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, welcome. Good afternoon. What's your name?
My name is Mr. Moses, calling from Ibafu.
Mr. Moses, are you a father?
Yes, I'm a father.
Okay, so how do you do school fees?
It's not an easy task.
I can imagine.
Like this afternoon, my daughter came back from school because they are having their mock exam.
Oh, okay.
So from grammar school,
Okay.
Ojodu Grammar School.
Okay.
She entered the traffic in the morning. The mother took her to the bus stop.
Mm-hmm.
She bought the bus. She entered the traffic. And according to her, from morning 6 o'clock, she got to school by 11 o'clock.
Wow.
And then coming back again, the same traffic, when she come back,
Wow.
she was already tired. So, and the school fee, the major problem I have is just the transport from here to Lagos. And the junior one that wants to join her, I decided her not to join.
Where do you stay?
Ibafu.
Okay. Isn't Ibafu in Lagos? Or you mean in Lagos Island?
No, Mowe Ibafu, Redeem campsite, where they are having
I see. Oh, I see. Ah, Michael, that's quite a lot. So you don't have a problem with school fees, but the transportation.
I have. The younger one that wants to join her. She could not join. We have to look for a school around here.
Okay.
Where they call about 30-something thousand naira, and the work that we are doing, the job we are doing, is just managed. It's not much. It's a lot.
It's a lot, Michael. Thank you for calling to share your story. Chichi is in Surulere, and she says that she saves for a long time. When do you start saving, Chichi?
Well, I started saving as soon as she wrote her common entrance exam.
Okay.
So I knew that's like early this year. So I knew we're going to be going to secondary school at some point, and I had to be ready.
Okay.
But, the thing is, ordinarily we wanted her to go to, not B, so part of the family wanted her to go to a federal school.
Okay.
While I just didn't have the stress to start sorting people and all of that. So I made up my mind to go to a private school.
Okay.
And I knew how expensive they could be.
Okay.
Some of them are outrightly, outrageously expensive.
How much are you paying?
So right now, the school that she's going to on Monday, we're paying 293,000.
My goodness.
For it just as one child.
For first term.
First term.
And you pay the second term and third term.
Yes, I will pay second term and
Chineke.
third term. And this is minus school shoes, books,
oh my
and all
God.
those other plenty things that come with it. So I just feel sometimes education is, I know how much, I don't think I ever paid up to 200,000 in all
Why
my...
do you think it has gotten so expensive?
See, the government has strayed away from education and giving us quality. I went to government schools. I did very well. And we didn't have to pay this much. Because people know that you're not getting so much quality out of these government schools anymore. They tend to take their children to private schools, who then take advantage of parents and their quest to get the best. That's just a simple explanation to me. And sometimes I feel parents actually put pressure on themselves.
Okay.
I can do it because I know I have a salary that can accommodate it, and I am saving. I am actively saving towards it.
Okay.
When people cannot and put themselves under so much stress and strain, like, okay, back to school, you hear parents, so they want to buy new shoe, new bag, new this. You have to buy new bags, new shoes, new everything, every term. You don't have to. I was not trained that way. I think I only got new bags and new shoes when I was moving from GFS to SS. Because my parents bought quality then. So why would I be changing a school bag every time? Change what I bought to every time. Change socks every time. We just put pressure on ourselves. But our private schools or schools generally exploiting parents, yes, they are. But the parents have the choice. No, they do not, because you want to give your child the best, and you would go all out to give your child the best, regardless of what it will cost you. The only hack is just to start saving early. I have a plan for it, and I don't touch the money for her tuition, no matter what happens.
You're very disciplined,
Nothing comes
Chichi.
out of that money.
You're very disciplined. Thank you so much for calling and sharing your own hack with us on the show. We've got more people calling. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, welcome. What's your name?
My name is Isaac.
Isaac, good afternoon.
Hello.
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, so tell us, are you a proprietor? Are you a school principal? Or are you just a parent?
A parent.
You're a parent, okay.
Yeah.
So how do you save for school fees? How do you do it? How do you raise the money for school fees?
I don't have problem raising money for school fees because I have a plan in saving the school fees.
Okay.
So before they resume, I pay part of the money.
Okay.
So when they resume, I'm able to raise money and balance up the money for that time.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
So, and also what I really like, coming back to school, when I see my son with his school bag, with his lunch bag, shouting, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy!" I'm missing that part. But now I think I need to see it back because I'm about to go back to school.
Okay.
I love that part so much.
Okay. Well, congratulations! You're about to experience it again, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much for calling to share your experience with us. Let's move on to our second story, but you can still comment on the first story. Remember, I said that our first story is not on any newspaper, but it's a conversation that everyone is having right now, especially if they're parents. On to our second story. Let me give you an update on everything related to the xenophobic attacks in South Africa. Air Peace will be sending a plane to South Africa on Friday to bring home any Nigerians who want to leave, and they'll be doing this free of charge. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs made that announcement on behalf of the airline and has urged Nigerians to let their friends and family in South Africa know about the service. In other news, the South African government has temporarily shut down its embassy in Nigeria. South Africans say the move, South Africa itself says the move is a precaution in light of attacks on South African businesses in Nigeria. South Africa, however, said it is pleased that no South Africans have been harmed in Nigeria and that the Nigerian government has given assurances about the safety of South African businesses. They also said that South Africa has no plans to provide compensation to Nigerians affected by xenophobic attacks as demanded by the Nigerian government. Meanwhile, the boycott of South Africa is getting stronger. Nigeria joined other African nations in pulling out of the World Economic Forum summit in the country. Private citizens like Jim Ovia also pulled out of the summit. But you also have former Commonwealth Secretary General Emeka Anyoko asking the Nigerian and South African governments to set up a joint commission to discuss the mutual interests of both countries and serve as a platform for resolving crises like the current one. So a lot is going on. There's a lot going on. And there's been quite a bit of praise for Air Peace for this offer of a free flight. I mean, it's mostly a symbolic gesture since one flight will only bring home a bit more than 100 people. But many people say that every little bit helps. Also, Air Peace is taking a loss on that flight and they did not need to do it. So, understandably, people are praising their patriotism. The thing that interested me about the South African government statement was that they are happy with the way Nigerian government has protected South African businesses. It made me ask myself, can we say the same thing about the South African government and Nigerian businesses? Isn't it ironic? It was the lack of protection of our businesses that triggered this crisis. So yet again, it seems Nigeria is showing itself to be the better neighbor. Also, the South African government is saying that it's not going to pay compensation, while the Nigerian government is insisting on it. Who do you think is going to have their way? Then there's the matter of the boycott of the WEF. Oboh Ezekwesili came under fire for speaking at the WEF even after government pulled out. The president's media aide Bashir Ahmed criticized her on Twitter, but others are pointing out that a sitting governor, Nasser El-Rufai, and Emir Mohammed Sanusi II attended an event connected to the WEF. Their supporters say it doesn't count since it wasn't the WEF itself. But critics are saying, why are they still in South Africa to begin with? So let me hear your thoughts about this matter, all the various parts of this matter. The South African government issuing that statement and shutting their embassy down. Do you think they should pay compensation to Nigerians affected by the violence? How do you feel about the Nigerian government and its attempts at boycott? How do you feel about recalling the ambassador? What do you think about Anyoku's suggestion of a bilateral commission? And what do you think about Ezekwesili and Sanusi and El-Rufai still being in South Africa? 01277 0993 01277 2993 01277 3993 and 01277 1993. 0993 is for women. We've got Rosaline in VI. Rosaline, welcome.
Hey, Auntie Oboh, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, so this thing you are talking about is very serious.
Which one?
The one they are killing xenophobia.
Yes, I agree with you.
It's not good. They should look into it and resolve it very soon. It's not good. People are just dying.
I agree with you. It isn't good at all. All right, Rosling, thank you for calling and sharing that thought. Hannah is in Agbara. Hello, Hannah. Welcome.
Yes, Sandra, good evening.
Good evening.
Well, the whole xenophobic attack is quite alarming.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I don't really know what to say. Reading so many news, so many things, it's just crazy. And the state at which the Nigerian government is reacting is quite poor. I expected them to be much more proactive.
Okay.
I think this thing has been ongoing for so many years, but the government has been so, I don't know, maybe lenient to the government, or I don't know, because most of these politicians have their businesses in South Africa. In fact, the best hotel in South Africa is owned by someone from my state.
Wow.
Who is a politician. So somehow you look at how they are reacting to poor Nigerians over there trying to strive, trying to hustle, trying to make a living. You know that it doesn't show that they have this deep sense of patriotism for their people. So I can tell you a number of politicians that have top businesses in South Africa, more especially Johannesburg and those top areas, because so they are also feeling like, okay, if we take this drastic step and then the government feels aggrieved or whatever, it also affects their businesses. So rather, let Nigerians die. Because to me, this thing cannot happen under Obasanjo's regime. I read the article written by Dele Momodu. So this president is very strong in fighting internal enemies in the country. But when he goes about it so soft with foreign people, foreign government, I don't know. Are we really the giant of Africa? We have to show South Africa that we are truly the giant of Africa. You can't be killing your people, naming your people. Your people are scared. They are not safe in foreign countries. And all you can say, okay, we condemn it, like the statement of the vice president. It's not just condemning. We want to see action, not words. So honestly, everything going on is it's quite bad. Okay, look at on the island, Lagos Island. See the foreign experts living freely in our country. If you work with Chinese people, if you work with Lebanese people, if you work with Indian people, very well. I'm a food expert in the industry. So I know what is going on, what these Lebanese people do, what these Chinese people do to Nigerians, how these Indian people do. So what are our lawmakers doing in telling this foreign experts that this is not your land, these are people. If they are working, there should be human dignity. There should be respect for human life, values. So those are things. I think even the traditional rulers, they have a great role to play. All these traditional rulers, they say traditional rulers, I don't want to mention them, but look at the issue of Boko, look at the issue of Fulani, look at the issue of diseases and all that. Why don't they use that, is it demonic powers or diabolic powers to solve problems? In advanced cities, the white people, the white witches, they use their powers in creating innovations and technology. But in Nigeria, they use their fetish powers to destroy themselves. That's why Africans remain backward. We have to tell ourselves the gospel truth. We have to tell ourselves the bitter truth. These traditional rulers, okay, so far with all what is happening, what have the traditional institutions said about it? The civil societies, what effort are they doing? So I don't want to see people coming and we condemn the act. We have to make proactive action, steps that people will know, yes, definitely this government is working. Truly, this government cares about its citizens. So it's quite appealing. It's quite, I don't know. I feel bad for Nigerians over there. I have a family friend, 2 of their sons is in South Africa. If I one married a South African, and I was the one that even said, yes, you should go ahead and marry a foreigner. So how would it be? Supposing they now call me and said, oh, Hannah, we lost our son. You were part of the people that said you should go ahead and marry a foreigner. So how does it? So those are the things you have to look at. If you have family members there, how do you feel? How do parents feel? They'll be scared. You are worried. So I want to see the government having this selflessness, this patriotism for the people. Not just saying we want to call in special envoys, we want to call in this one, talk. How far have the talk gone? What as well as the result? I want results. So these are the things the government should do. So thank you very much, Sandra. You're doing a good job. Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah, for calling us. Very passionate submission over there. Let's move on to our final story, but you can comment on any of the stories that you've heard today on the Big Three. That's coming right up.
Stay right here on the Big Three on 99.3 Nigeria Info. This is the Big Three.
The Big Three on Hard Facts
on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
And today on the Big Three, we told you it's back to school time for Lagosians and Nigerians. You can still comment on that. I want to know if you are ready for kids to return to school. We also had updates from the xenophobia crisis, including a Nigerian airline offering free airlift for Nigerians in South Africa. We told you about that. And our final story is another crime story. This time it's not abroad in South Africa. It's right here in Nigeria. A staff of AIT has been murdered in what is suspected to be a case of one chance robbery gone wrong. Abayomi Adigun, a member of the production crew of Kakaki, boarded a car on Sunday night along the Kubwa Aya Expressway, and his body was later found along the highway, and he had been stabbed multiple times. Adigun had just been transferred from Ilorin. It's a terrible story, and may his soul rest in peace. On behalf of Hard Facts, Nigeria Info FM, and the entire Kowazobia Nigeria Info family, I wish to extend my sincere condolences to his family and to the staff of AIT and DAR Communications. Stories like this happen almost every day in this country. This one made the news because Adigun was a member of the media. So now that it has made the news, I think it's a good opportunity to talk about one chance in general. I want to use later Bayomi Adigun as a point of contact to talk about all the Nigerians who have fallen prey to this terrible crime. Now, in case you don't know what one chance is, it's a form of robbery where the robbers move around in a car or a bus, parading themselves as a taxi or a transit bus. When an unsuspecting person flags them down, they let them in and drive off. Now, that person is in a vehicle full of armed robbers. They are held at gunpoint or knife point and they are robbed. Sometimes there's a struggle or a scuffle. Sometimes the robbers think the person can identify them. And in those situations, so often the robbers kill the victim and dump their bodies. When I was in Port Harcourt, there were reports of one-chance robberies almost every day. And at least once a month, there was a case of a one-chance leading to murder. And the scary thing is that these things happen both at night and in broad daylight. So what can we do to protect ourselves? Most of the advice I see doesn't seem very practical to me. Sometimes people say, oh, you have to be sharp. You have to access the people in the bus before you enter. And I always ask, assess them. How? How can you tell an armed robber from an honest person? Is it written on the face? And then another advice I have heard is to get the number plates of a vehicle before you enter and send it to someone. Again, this doesn't seem very practical, even though I did it growing up and having to board a bus and go to school in Enugu. But how easy is it to go to the front or back of a Danfo to get their number plate before boarding? I mean, will the Danfo wait for you? And even if you get the number, will that really stop the robbery? Can the police actually trace them after the fact? Another suggestion is to only use ride-hailing apps since they keep driver records. But there's the cost of that particular one. So what can we really do to protect ourselves? I want to hear from you. What do you think of these precautions that I mentioned? Do you have other precautions that you want to share? Have you ever been a victim of one chance? I want to hear your experience so that all of us can learn what to look out for. 01277 0993. That's a line for women. 01277 0993. The line for women. And then everybody else can call 01277 0993. Sorry, 1993, 2993, and 3993. Just put 01 before that. 01277 before that. 1993, 2993 and 3993. We've got people who are trying to call into the show. Someone called Tubaba in Ikorodu. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, welcome.
Yeah. This, my sister, you know, this issue here, like Nigeria, maybe, I don't know. I'm sorry to say this. Nothing can be done in this country.
Which one?
As in the whole issue of kidnapping of a teenager. As in, we are just fed up in this country. We are living in a country whereby you can just do anything you want, and even the government, the police, nobody will even question you. We are in this. I don't know what to say. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm confused. This country is just. I don't know, my sister. Just have a nice day.
Okay, well, thank you for calling to complain. We've got Jacobson who says there's nothing we can do as individuals about one chance. Jacobson, tell me more.
Okay, as individuals, there's nothing we can do practically
to protect ourselves from one chance, ba?
Exactly. I've heard so many suggestions on what one can do to protect ourselves. But the truth is, as many of such suggestions are coming out, that's how so many other tactics are being put up every day by these perpetrators. And practically, there's nothing you can do. Because even if you say, okay, I'll have to watch out for the plate number, how come would you be able to watch out for the plate number before entering a bus? You're on a bus stop, a busy place, people are running up and down, the hawkers are everywhere, and then you are struggling and striving to enter a bus, and you now finally do, and then you are robbed, and somebody comes to tell you what's the plate number of the bus. I don't think anybody will be able to say.
It does sound ridiculous, doesn't it?
So what I would just suggest is government should just try to provide a suitable means of transportation. 247 means of transportation. A reliable means of transportation. Let's assume in Lagos, for example, that we have BRT buses and they run 24-hour service. And you have your train going from suburbs to suburbs, and they run on 24-hour service. Sandra, I don't think anybody will be striving and jumping from one downfall bus to the other. And I know that all these downfall buses, the legitimate ones, all of them will still end up having to drive one of the BRT buses, or even having to apply, or even go for training to drive the train. Am I wrong or right?
My God.
So why are we not improving? Why are we always progressing as a country? I don't know where you can go in any developed city where you go and you don't have a good train network, you don't have a good bus network, you don't have any other thing except everything is left for the individuals to provide. And that is what gives birth to motor park, taxi drivers, downfall drivers, and nobody could even identify.
It's quite the
only
food for
practical
thought.
suggestion I will have is if you have a motor park around your place, please always enter a taxi or a bus in that motor park.
Okay.
Once it is late, drive your own car or you take an online cab. That is my own suggestion.
All right, Jacobson, thank you for calling to make it. Remi's in Aghogho. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but he says that it's a known fact that any nation with high level of poverty will experience more crime. Remi, thank you for calling us and trying to share that thought with us, but we're out of time, like I said. Coming up is a conversation with the new Consular General of the Lagos U.S. Consulate. This is the first time she's ever been in Nigeria, and this is the very first conversation she's having with the media in Nigeria, and Nigeria Info got it first. So let's talk to her from 4 until 4:30, and after that, Eyewitness. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili.
Hard Facts will be right back.